Alright, what's up, you lucky hoppers? Back again with another beautiful video here in the archives of the AGSL. Here you're going to be seeing me look at some historic weather maps, but this is just like a little intro tour. I'm going to be showing you a little bit more of this place afterwards, but I just got a lot of people asking about how I view these rare maps and where. And this is the place, and you can see how there's just so many things laying around that are just waiting to be picked up and looked at and flipped through and investigated. It's kind of overwhelming. There's absolutely no way you could go through everything here, which is a good problem to have. So, yeah, this is like an exclusive area over there, and you can just see all the rows of encyclopedias, atlases, maps, weather reports, history books, documents, things in different languages, whatnot. And yeah, the corridors just are so long here and kind of just a lot to look at. So I don't spend nearly as much time here as I want to, especially with summer, which is why some of these videos have been taking a little bit long to come out. But you know what? I'm enjoying the sun, enjoying the summer, and just doing my thing. So sit back, because we got a really good one for you here in a sec. And then, yeah, these are just my little, I just flipped through some random books here just to kind of give you an idea of, just the breadth of information that, I mean, just imagine looking through all these books and trying to find little clues. Kind of is exhilarating. A lot of stuff in different languages, in Russian, in Turkish. Alright, YouTube, what is up, everybody? I know it's been a little bit since I made something like this, and you know what? I'm kind of stoked because this is one of my favorite maps I've ever viewed. And here we're going to be talking about the book of Genesis, and this map kind of lays it all out for you. And it shows you, here's the Holy Land, and Egypt is down there, and it also shows Sodom and Gomorrah, and Zeboim and Adamah as islands once again, as I touched on in previous videos. Which kind of further backs up that point, but a lot of interesting stuff going on here. So, you'll see in the border that they list out individual chapters from Genesis. So we're going to start out with, of course, Genesis 1, which is, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and he said, let there be light, and he divided the light, and then God said, let there be a vault between the waters to separate the water from water. And then he created the sky, and then he created the ground and vegetation, and separate the day from the night. He also said, let the water live with living creatures, let the birds fly above the earth, so on and so forth. So that's the first stop on this adventure. Alright, now the next stop is Genesis chapter 3. Which is the serpent is more crafty than the wild animals. And did he really say you must not eat of the tree of the garden? He says we must not eat of the fruit, whatever, we will die. Then I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid that you were naked, so I hid. Who told you were naked? Then she gave me the fruit, I ate it. Then would you have done this? The serpent deceived me, and I ate. Okay, yeah, we've heard that one before. So then God says, cursed all you and livestock and all wild animals, you will crawl on your belly and eat of dust all day. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, between you and her offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and he will strike his heel. To the woman he said, I will make your pains of childbearing very severe. Your desire to be for your husband, and he will rule over you. To Adam he said, you listen to your wife, which I commanded you. You must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground of you. Though painful you toil, will eat from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants in the field. By sweat of your brow, eat the food until you return to the ground. Adam named his wife Eve, because she would be the mother of all living. Then God made garments for Adam, clothed them. Lord said, man has now become like one of us, plural, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take from the tree of life and eat it forever. So the Lord banished him from the Garden of Eden to work on the ground from which he'd be taken. After he drove the man out, he placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden a cherubim angel with a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way of the tree of life, which we see to this day in this depiction, which is really interesting. So maybe that's a metaphor. So now this says the Geographa of Paradise. I don't speak Latin, so I don't know what the rest of that says. If anybody does, though, let me know. Then the next slide we have Genesis chapter 4, which depicts Cain killing Abel, as well as this offering to the gods. And then he says, "Where is your brother? I don't know. What have you done? Listen, your brother blood cries out from the ground. You are under a curse." Another curse from God within the first 4 chapters. And I didn't realize this, but Cain is actually the son of Adam and Eve. So then we move on to Genesis chapter 7, which is depicting of the flood of Noah and his ark. And Noah was 600 years old when the waters came, and his everybody escaped, and it shows like this mud flood, torrential downpour, people standing on buildings, people running for their lives. Pretty interesting depiction of the mud flood, or any flood, I guess. And it looks pretty torrential. And then next we have Genesis chapter 11, which is showing the Tower of Babel. And it says, "The whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found Shinar and settled there." Looks like some star for it. "Let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They used brick instead of stone and tar and mortar. Then they said, 'Let's build ourselves a city, a tower that reaches to the heavens.'" Okay. And then the Lord scattered them all over the earth and confused their language so they don't understand each other. I think this was a Tartar city of some sort. And Shem was 100 years old, became the father of Apraxid. And Shem lived to be 500 years old, which I think is the king being depicted here. So now we're moving to chapter 12. "So then the Lord said to Abraham, 'Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you.' And so Abraham went away, as the Lord told him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham traveled through the land, a great tree. At the time the Canaanites were in that land. And then he said, 'To your offspring I will give you this land.' So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. He went to Bethel to pitch his tent. And Abraham continued to Negev." So then it skips over to chapter 19. In the previous chapter, Abraham is pleading with God to save the city if he finds righteous men, and he does not see righteous men. And so here we see the 2 angels telling them, "We're about to destroy these fucking cities because no righteous people were found." So this causes them to run out, and Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. Seems all sorts of weird, but in this depiction you see they're like trying to get rescued from some burning city, which is pretty dramatic. And so this is the destruction of those 4 islands that we see. Then we cut to chapter 22. And in this chapter, God tells Abraham, "Here he is, take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac, and sacrifice him as a burnt offering to the mountain." And it says, "Load up your donkey and take your servants." But here we see like a little lamb, and he's about to sacrifice him. And we see some people in the bottom right corner here, as well as the angel that intervenes. This is an iconic story in the Bible, pretty popular. And and then it skips over to, I think, let's see what chapter is next, 27. And here we see them pleading with him and an archer in the background. So here they are trying to deceive Isaac, who once was almost sacrificed, but is now an old man and blind. And they're trying to deceive him into giving the blessing to Esau instead of Jacob. Jacob's concern is that he'll get caught in a lie. And then because there was a prophecy in Genesis 25:23 that the oracle said that the younger one would one day rule over the older son. Interesting little thing. And then we jump to chapter 28. And Isaac called for Jacob and blessed him. And so Jacob's fleeing for Mesopotamia. And on the road to Mesopotamia, Jacob is forced by nightfall on the ground, and the Lord appears to Jacob atop a ladder or a staircase connecting the heaven and the earth, and angels ascending and descending. The Lord repeats to Jacob some of the very same promises that he said to Abraham. And then we jump to chapter 32, which states that Jacob went on his way, angels met with him. But here we see that Jacob has been wrestling with God, or perhaps an angel, to combat without a blessing in a deeply symbolic moment. And the man insists that Jacob, infamous for deception and trickery, identify himself. And so Jacob does so, honestly, seeming to admit not only his true self, but his position of weakness. In response, the man, now revealed to be God, changes Jacob's name to Israel, which means God's fight. So Israel is the deceptive force, I guess, that is claiming to be blessed by God, but is actually not. So then, instead of killing Joseph, they decide to throw him into the pit alive and take off his multicolored robe. And then, while Reuben is away, they decide to rescue him from the pit instead of killing him in a sneaky fashion. So then he's still alive, I guess. Something about this pit is weird to me. Yeah, you see like some conquistador, some goblin-looking dude over here. People looking back, camels. Big old city in the background, large spire. But I think that's Jacob on the ground there, on the ground there. And then we go to chapter 41. Where Joseph is restored and the circumstances are reversed, and the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, has some dreams, and some prophetic dreams of 7 beautiful, healthy cows coming out of the Nile River to feed on the grass. The 7 famished, emaciated cows come up after them and devour them. The second dream is similar. It sees 7 good ears of grain growing in a single stalk, which we see 7 thin-waisted ears grow up and then somehow swallow up healthy ears of grain. Ancient Egyptians place great emphasis on dreams, and these are especially vivid, and he's shaken by them, so he calls his wise men and magicians. Educated in various disciplines, Joseph is quickly released from prison and brought before the Pharaoh. As he has heard these Hebrews can interpret dreams in a bold statement, Joseph corrects the ruler of Egypt, insists that God has the knowledge. Okay. So then we're going to chapter 46. Which is kind of separated into 3 sections. Jacob's final encounter with the Lord, account of all Jacob's descendants around this time, and Jacob's reunion with Joseph in the land of Egypt. And we can see a giant old city in the background, a whole troop of a caravan coming out. And then I think the last stop is chapter 49, which is before he dies, Jacob urgently seeks to complete 2 important pieces of business for his 12 sons. He wants to give a prophetic message appropriate to each, and while these are titled blessings, they're not all positive. They're presented more as predictions than bestowing favors. Second, he wants to command them to bury his body in Canaan and not Egypt. So overall, a pretty cool map, and with some interesting things included in here, just like an overview of it, and just like the art is super vivid and beautiful. We also see what looks like it looks like the man and the woman are pregnant, which is interesting to me. And just this whole scene is weird. We've got a man and woman both looking pregnant. Just a whole paradise. We have these like weird UFOs in the sky that I guess could be birds, but they don't. 2 of them don't really look like birds at all to me. There's also like a unicorn that I'll show you in a sec. Yeah. So they both look pregnant, which is kind of weird considering the whole context of Genesis. being that the woman has painful childbirth. And then you see that unicorn in the bottom right there. Pretty compelling. I didn't know that unicorns drank out of their horn, but you heard it here first, folks. Little monkey dude in the tree too. Normal looking horse, no unicorn. And then yeah, I don't know what this says. Hold on. I think that says DVB Inven. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Maybe that's the artist. Overall, very cool piece of work here. And yeah, that stairway, Jacob's ladder, is pretty cool. But yeah, and on the back here is just like some German description of the map. I don't know what any of this says. So if anybody can translate this, let me know. I can give you the online link to if you are interested in manually translating any of this with higher quality. So, oh yeah. Thanks for watching, dudes. And then this is just like this is the private map viewing room that I view all these maps in. That's me. Hi. And then this is just like a little behind the scenes tour of the archives at the library. And they're pretty extensive, as you can see. It's kind of overwhelming. Like, where do you even begin? You have like weather reports from all around the world. You have like atlases. Those are all like encyclopedias, I think, in that secret room, or the locked room. Just some cool maps on the wall. I think this is yeah. But these are all just like, you could just pick out any of these at any time and just start flipping through them. I normally don't go to these sections. This was the first time I had actually gone through like any of this. I normally like view them online, and then I make like a little special request to kind of view something specific. But yeah, here you can see just, I don't know, just endless documents. Super overwhelming in a good way. I haven't been here in a little bit since school is out, but Nassau County Atlas. Yeah, there's some very cool maps on the walls too. Not many people go in here, so a lot of this is just kind of, I don't want to say like unused, but it's just kind of like a hidden gem. Some cool old globes, still spinning, 1500s, I guess. But yeah, I haven't been too up to date on these map videos. I know you guys dig this content. I've been posting more like obscure, like cryptic, like war memorials that I've been finding around town, and those are kind of fun. And then this map is pretty cool. All of these are kind of behind glass, so getting like a shot without glare is kind of hard sometimes, but you work with what you got. And yeah, this is a cool one. I think I actually viewed this at one point, but the double cordiform projection of 1538. A lot of little hidden gems just kind of sitting here waiting to be kind of deciphered and looked at. But yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching, dudes. Appreciate y'all. I did have another map of Paul's journey through the Holy Land, but I couldn't find the video, so I'm gonna keep searching for that one. Otherwise, I might have to just view it in person again, or just do like an online kind of breakdown of it. But either way, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I shall catch you next time. I'll leave you here with this North Pole map hanging on the wall. Bada bing.